Listen, a lot of you motherfuckers will never procreate because you're scared of women, okay? Remember what I was talking about earlier, how nuance is not allowed anymore, right? Look at this fucking LARPer. Rock solid shitpost rock. This guy sucks. This is all he does. Pragmata is a psyop to counter decades of anti-natalist propaganda and bring up global birth rates. This is, and look at this first comment. They should put out a disclaimer in here that you won't get this type of outcome if you choose a brown or black person to have kids with. Sorry, turds, this one only comes from us. Mind you, this is a Japanese game, right? But these people have to look at everything through the lens of racism. Oh, you can't get adorable children if you are in an interracial relationship. Only white children can be this adorable and pure and whatever. But here's the thing though. Did Domain hit this on the head? This is their tweet. Interesting we didn't see this same. This game is so base claims about Death Stranding or Yakuza 6, both games where you take care of infants from a masculine perspective. No, for some reason, these trogs come out the woodwork for the lolly robot child game. And as you can see by the number of retweets and comments and views, a lot of people in the comments are upset about this. You can scroll through it. This fucking, December, this fucking idiot, dude. What did he say? Listen, in Death Stranding, you have a stillborn fetus in the fucking tank. You only hold that baby one final scenes in the game. No one hates on the game for it either. The top criticism of DS gets is for being a movie game or a walking sim. So he immediately doesn't understand the point they made. Doesn't understand that. Doesn't understand that. Also, they keep using the R word as if this is some sort of like, I'm so edgy and cool, right? If you want to compare Pragmata's father-daughter focus, you got to go towards the Telltale games, The Walking Dead Season 1 or The Last of Us. In which case, I'd like to ask, where were you and your fucking ilk to complain about lollies when Clementine and Ellie are numerous kids characters in the game got to take care of them? Hey, Decembros, since you like to call people the R word so much, let's look at Diana from Pragmata. You guys get a good picture of what she looks like? Looks like an actual child, yeah? Like a little baby. If we do Clementine, does this look like a fucking lolly? Is she resembling a lolly or just a young child? Does she look like a fucking lolly? Did Ellie from part 1, does this look like a fucking lolly to you? Does this person or this person fucking look like this person? Like a goddamn lolly. And this is a fucking robot. So this was designed within game logic to look like a child as a robot. What I was saying about nuance, right? I'm not saying the game is bad or whatever, but you can critique shit. It is a perfect observation to notice how the level of attachment they're having to this game, specifically because of this character, not the mechanics, not the story, not anything, is alarming because they didn't do this shit with similar games. And we know that to be true because the fucking subreddit for Pragmata got banned because a lot of these losers were doing lolly shit in there. Like this is what I'm talking about here. They are completely out of their minds. They have completely lost any sort of shielding to say that, oh, this is just because it's a good game. No, it's because it's a fucking lolly. You guys are obsessed with lollies. I showed you last stream when that guy was complaining about not being able to look up Diana's skirt, right? Like wasn't able to look up her skirt. So he got mad and got blocked by the Pragmata. Pragmata's, their subreddit was banned. This is why people were very hesitant about the dynamic in this game, not because of what's happening in game, because I played the demo and to my knowledge, there's nothing in this game to even hint at some sort of inappropriate relationship with these two. but because of the people outside of the game, because who it would attract, especially given the current climate, which is pedophilia running fucking rampant. I did a whole video talking about there are too many pedophiles. There's too many pedophiles. Wait, was it? No. It was not Pragmata. It was about 7 Deadly Sins. But you can replace that with Pragmata. We are in a death spiral when it comes to the amount of just pedophilic people in this space. So a game like this to come out is going to attract the worst kinds of people. And we know that because, again, an entire Reddit was banned because they could not stop sexualizing the robot girl. The Pragmata community on Reddit has splintered into 3 distinct subreddits. Our Pragmata, the main subreddit, and then the fact that there's a main subreddit and then a safe for work one is insane. You shouldn't have to make a safe for work version of a game that stars a child, regardless if it's a robotic child, which honestly makes it kind of more gross, or a non-robotic child. The fact that, and it's not like she was hidden in the game, she's in all the promotional material. So the fact that they immediately had to make a safe for work one, out of making it as a self-described attempt at building up a sub that isn't plastered with pedophile dog whistles, and r Pragmata _ which was banned on February 18th for breaking Reddit's Rule 4. For context, Rule 4 explicitly forbids the sharing of sexual, abusive, or suggestive content involving minors. So again, what these people will do is they will flatten everything out to be like, oh, you wokies don't like this game because it's promoting, what did he say? Promoting it's counteracting decades of anti-natalist propaganda, bringing global birth rates. People don't have a problem with the game Pragmata. The game is not the issue. The issue are you fucking pedophiles who are using this game to get off, who are making subreddits that are violating Rule 4, which again is sharing suggestive or sexual or abusive content involving minors, to the point where you have Redditors and moderators stepping down and the sub being banned. And we're beyond the point of, again, all these like dog whistles not work, like masking what they're doing. We know who you people are. Unfortunately, we know how you operate. So when a game like this comes out and your defense is either the Chibi Reviews defense of it's just a drawing, LOL, that lets me know everything. That lets me know everything there is to know about you. Because why are you making subreddits dedicated to a child? Regardless, it's not like you're making fan subreddits. It's not like you're making like, oh, my favorite character was Kid Gohan and he kicks ass and he was moving like a G in Namek. No, you're making content so disgusting that Reddit is banning it. And then when normal people are like, that's fucking disgusting, and they side-eye people who are doing it in this game, like, oh, you guys just don't want gamers to enjoy the experience of fatherhood. Listen, a lot of you motherfuckers will never procreate because you're scared of women, okay? So let's just get that out the way. But no, the reason why people are on your necks about this is because more often than not, judging by the way you're going at this game, you're into some pedophilic shit. Because normal people weren't talking about Diana. They weren't. Like, that's what they're not understanding. They zero in on Diana immediately. Other people were thinking this was supposed to be a Mega Man like stealth game, like a stealth Mega Man game. Like this was somehow game was some sort of Mega Man reboot. That's what they were thinking. They weren't thinking, man, let's get some photos of this little girl. And so now the conversation around this game, like Stellar Blade, like Crimson Desert, has become tainted because you have these incel losers who are so either caught being pedophiles or a culture war or a combination of both, that their stank is on every conversation. Like, you can't talk about this game without addressing the pedophile aspect of it. You couldn't talk about Crimson Desert without people talking about wokeness. You couldn't talk about Stellar Blade without being called some sex negative person, because you have actual critiques of the game itself, and you don't think even a skin tight suit is going to save it from criticism. Like, we have these people who isolate a game onto one specific point, and that is the end all be all. If you don't like Stellar Blade, it's because you don't like hot women. If you don't like Pragmata, it's because you're anti-natalist. If you don't like Crimson Desert, it's because you are Ubisoft shill or whatever. There is no nuance. There is no ability to critique, because these people have permeated everything and they've ruined all discourse. They just have. You can't talk about any goddamn game. You can't talk about any goddamn game anymore without it having to go through a bunch of bullshit, because a bunch of losers have decided to make next game coming up the flagship of their cultural war bullshit. Like, here, I understand Twitter is the piss me off factory, but it's also indicative of a lot of gaming discourse. So here's a question. Okay, I don't get it. Why is there so much discourse over a robot girl dancing? First person. Extreme leftists think it caters to male gamers who are all pedophiles. Extreme right-wingers say it's good propaganda to make more women want to be mothers and discouraging gay people from becoming parents. It's fucking ridiculous. Then it's pedophilia and alt-right conservatives claiming Diana was made to combat anti-natalist ideology, encouraging to mothers again. They think it's pedophilia. They think it's pedobait or lowly bait, like, dude, it's just a child existing. Because people made it political. It's a whole modern feminist rabbit hole. That makes no sense. This is why. It's because culture wars. Because culture wars. There are a bunch of fucking pedophiles in the gaming space. I've had a whole video on that. But especially in the online space, like especially this fucking website, there are a ton of pedophiles. And they have ruined discussion. Just like these right-wing grifters who've ruined gaming discourse discussion as a whole. So there's no game that can come out that isn't tainted by it. So through that context, right, this shit is lollybait. That's why this shit happened, where they had to ban an entire subreddit because these people were being extremely pedophilic. And so again, given that context, seeing shit like this, not saying that Pragmata is the problem, but given to that context, people are going to be like side-eyeing this, because like, hey, why did you create a robot child who's barefoot dancing, right? Like, just on the optics level of it. And again, a lot of this is coming from the fact that this culture war bullshit has ruined everything. I want to make that very clear. I'm not knocking Pragmata, right? But I understand from an optics standpoint why this looks fucking bad. This is exactly why I hate this discourse for this bullshit, because everything is tainted. Pragmata just broke the internet and people are losing it. I'm not watching an Endeaming video, but this is what I'm talking about, right? He's definitely going to defend. You know, we will watch a little bit of this, because I have a suspicion.
A game comes out and people are completely normal about it. They enjoy it, they praise it, and then they move on with their lives.
Which is something he never does, mind you.
Fortunately, every now and again, a game comes out that causes people to lose their minds over the weirdest things, guys. And that, my friends, brings us to today's topic, which is...
I promise you he's going to pretend that he's not aware of like the pedophile shit.
...is Capcom's newest game, Pragmata. So I've been playing it myself. I think I'm almost maybe halfway through or so. I don't really know, but what I can tell you is I'm having a blast. The elevator pitch, without really ruining or spoiling any, also
Okay,
great.
shut up.
And the game is probably one of my favorite games of the year so far. A problematic game because it promotes child, how do I say this without getting demonetized? Child, you know what? You know what I'm saying, which is insane to categorize this game as, by the way. And if you enjoy Pragmata, it's because you're a fan of seeing little girls do things, and you're also being called a lolly, which I didn't even know what that meant. Apparently, lollies are
He's
like
lying.
child-looking characters that are also adults, which, from what I understand in Pragmata, that is not the case here at all. Diana is a robot girl, but she's permanently, from what I understand, a child in frame too. Even the way she thinks and acts are that of maybe like a 5 or 6-year-old at best. But nothing in the game whatsoever insinuates.
Do you see how he's immediately sweeping? And the framing that he's using, you just saw me talk about the entire context of this. And the framing that he goes is, well, apparently if you play this game, you're a pedophile and this, and that. He doesn't do any research into anything. To say that he knows what a lolly is a fucking lie also. That's a fucking lie, Damien.
It's any sort of problematic or weird, fetish under.
And no one's saying that this is happening within the game. Again, I've already debunked this part. No one's saying this is happening within the game.
Tones at all. The game takes place in what's called the cradle, an obvious nod to where a child is kept where they're born and all that, and as you play the story this makes more sense why it's called that. And the various evil robots are all over, and there's 3D printed. The synergy of old grumpy guy meets young optimistic kid who teaches him how to live again gimmick that we've seen before. But hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, you know what I mean? Because it works in Pragmata, the same way it does in Last of Us and God of War. But like I said, you have weirdos that are trying to push their politics onto Pragmata and make it into something that it isn't. Like this user on Twitter, appropriately named Ghoulhag, as you can see here, who believes that Diana's design.
I can promise you at no point is he going to show you the stuff that I've shown you. At no point is he going to show you the stuff about the pedophiles.
AI example on the right is what this user thinks Diana should look like instead. But let's be real, if Diana looked like that example on the right, these same people would still have the same problems regardless with her design. Either way, there's nothing wrong with how she looks. She looks like a kid. I will admit that having her missing teeth would have been a nice touch, but again, she's a robot, not a human. So probably, I would assume anyways, Capcom just gave her teeth because it's easier to animate, but hey, I could be wrong. Either way, attacking what is so obviously a child design is also just weird to me because the whole game is centered around Diana. Plus, that woman's argument, like, it completely falls apart the longer you think about it too. Because what?
That's and this is why I dislike people like Endymion, because they're so disingenuous with all of their fucking framing, dude. They're so like he's showing examples, and not one point, not one example is showing the actual real reasons people were talking about Diana in this game. At no point does he talk about that. He talks about this portion. He talks about this, but he won't talk about the literal subreddit being banned.
Anime way. Apparently, according to the usual crazy people, this means that Capcom is attaching Diana to the lolly fandom because there's a meme that is similar. Naturally, this now means that Capcom, a $1 million, maybe even $1 billion corporation, is now willing to risk their entire reputation over something that these.
And again, you're saying Capcom's a $1 million company. Capcom should have at least done fucking research to be like, oh, we don't want this shit attached to anything that might look like it's promoting pedophilia, dude. Like it's so like his framing is so disingenuous. You're telling me this whole 20-minute fucking video, and at no point did you bring up this fucking fact here. At no point did you bring up where is it? Did you bring up this shit? At no point does he bring this up. Like at no point does he bring it up. Why? Because then that defeats his entire framing. His entire framing is disingenuous. No one's going to correct him. Fuck it, I will. Weird how you had all this ready to go, but didn't even cover the fact that there was a subreddit that was banned because of the lolly slash pedo shit in relation to Diana. Also strange how you didn't show any of the tweets of people not only demanding to look up her skirt uncensored, but also, what was it? You're saying people are being weird about it and are intentionally avoiding the well-documented pedo reaction to the game to make it seem like people are just being upset for no reason. No one in his thing is going to protest, is going to fucking check him, because his audience is stupid. So they won't protect. They won't be like, actually, I looked into this and I saw X, Y, and Z. They're just gonna be like, nope, you're right. You're 100% right. Because this is what these people do. This is what these people do. He went to Kotaku to complain about the badge, but didn't see this. That's weird. Weird that he didn't see this. Really strange how he missed this whole part. But the typical crazies are being insane. They're losing their minds. Hi, I'm Endymion. I'm a dumbass and I don't do any research, even on a topic that actually is pretty serious. Like, do you guys see why I'm so mean to people like this? Why I call them like dumbasses? Why I don't respect them? I don't respect their opinions. Because they will put out so much content that just insults your intelligence on a day-to-day basis. On a day-to-day basis, just insult your intelligence to your face and want you to take that. And I'm sorry, I can't deal with that shit. It's like when they hate something, they will look at everything holistically, but when they like something, it's literally what happened this second. Oh, I saw someone say Pragmata looks kind of sketch, therefore they must all be libs who hate children. I like this tweet though. Pragmata is the new Stellar Blade in the sense that I haven't seen a single one. He post a piece of gameplay, just post about cultural victories, and I don't know what. Exactly. Pedophilia used to be something that was a shameful act that people wouldn't just promote. And now they're like, actually, you're weird if you don't like it. Like, why are I'm weird for side-eyeing the way people are talking about Pragmata, because they're not even talking about the fucking game. They're talking about this little girl. They're talking about her, and they're talking about her in disgusting ass ways. How soon can I expect new Diana mods? I need this on Death by Friday. Like this is what I'm talking about. And then they have normalized this shit in gaming so much. These right-wing fucking losers have normalized shit so much to be awful that pedophiles feel comfortable. Much like how our administration is full of pedophiles. Pedophiles feel comfortable in the government. They feel comfortable online. They feel comfortable in the gaming space. Because when we do push against that shit, you have dumbasses like Endymion making videos that like, oh, well, the real crazies are the people who would think this is anything more than a child. I have to stress this enough. We don't have a problem with her being a goddamn child in the game. The problem is outside of the game. He doesn't even talk about the fact there's people trying to use this as a way to be both inject some natalist messaging and also being straight up fucking racist. Because thinking critically or holistically fucking short circuits their goddamn brain cells. Like, god damn, man. It's so blatant too. Like, it's such a blatant thing.